Hey guys, what's up? It's the Culture Detective here investigating your favorite albums, and today I'm going to do an album review on the latest Conway The Machine album, From King to a God. Conway The Machine, co founder of Griselda Records, a rapper from Buffalo City, USA, and coming out with a full length album this year, and it is a really solid East Coast hip hop album. Now, Griselda Records, they have been dropping a lot of rap albums quite lately, but none of the rap albums are like the mainstream trap rap that most of hip hop is nowadays. Instead, the kind of rap music they make is more grittier, more gangsta flavored. We have Benny the Butcher in the records, as well as West Side Gun. Yeah, Conway the Machine, who usually is the least recognized out of the three, had come out with a really, really solid album, and I'm gonna talk about it. Now, there are a few interludes on this album. I don't really care about them, nor do I care for the intro. I just thought it's really dragged. The sermon sample in the beginning, it's a little bit patience testing. I want to hear the beat drop, and it kind of does on the second track, Fear of God, featuring. I always say DJ Loaf, but apparently it's Dej Loaf. I'm just gonna call it DJ Loaf. So DJ Loaf. Anyways, this track has a very righteous instrumental. These very churchy, dramatic keyboards, fat kick drums, click clack percussion. It's a pretty nice beat, and the very great gritty delivery and the inspirational tone of this track totally works out with this instrumental as well. The second track, Lemon, features none other than Mr. Method Man, and the beat and the instrumental is a pretty typical Griselda Records beat with its very woozy, toxic beat, dusty piano samples, and it's just very solid. It's just one solid chunk of keys, just consistently throughout the entire track. And the instrumentals are just okay. But that being said, the flow and the delivery by Method Man is amazing. Is amazing. And then we have the third track, Doe and Damani, and it's basically two tracks combined together. The first half, I believe, is produced by Alchemist, The Alchemist, who collaborated with Freddie Gibbs earlier this year. Every single track on this album is almost produced by a different producer, but yet they all sound kinda connected and coherent. So that's really cool. But anyways, the first half of the track, I believe, is produced by The Alchemist, and it's just not as good. While yes, we get the dreamy, easygoing pianos, the second half with the unhinged pianos is what really makes this track grittier. But that being said, this track is still not one of the highlights on the album for me. The fourth track, Juvenile Hell, is a pretty quick witted banger with multiple features, and I really like the instrumentals here with the ringing chord progressions and the booming bass. It's all very energetic and exciting. And the album continues to pick its pace up with the track Front Lines, which I really like because of its instrumentals, the sinister pianos, the huge bass of the track is amazing, and the delivery just sort of changes, sort of gradually shifts from being very cold and calm to somewhat crazy and out of his mind. And we have lyrics talking about being in the chaotic world, being caught up in this racist judicial system and drugs. Okay, I don't know why, but my mouth feels really dry, so I have to drink water out of this Mickey Mouse cup right now. I'm a legend. Anyways, we have the track Anza, which is produced by Murda Beats. And the beat is really surprising on this track because it's not something that you would expect from a gritty East Coast hip hop album and record label like Griselda Records, where the beat is very smooth, danceable, and clubby. But that being said, it actually still feels coherent to the rest of the tracks on the album. I still think the feature is really nice, and it still feels really gritty, even though it has that clubby sound. It still feels really gritty and just sinister. Anyways, we have Seen Everything But Jesus featuring Freddie Gibbs. And this track is actually a pretty laid back piano driven track with sentimental bars. Freddie Gibbs come on with a pretty melodic flow, and it's a surprisingly well done track. And then we have Spurs 3 featuring Benny the Butcher and West Side Gun. So all three of the main Griselda Records rappers coming together in one track for one chaotic banger. And they have great chemistry together. I also really like the wind chimey beat, which is very loose and chopped up, and it just has a lot of energy on the track. And then we have Forever Drop in Tears, which is a more melancholic, synthy, dreamy track. And the verses are very powerful and emotional, and it's pretty memorable, even though I guess instrumentally it's not one of the more eventful tracks. The second last track is Jesus Khrysis featuring El Camino, and of course the producer is Khrysis. And the beat, again, similar to Lemon. It's very spacey, very synthy and woozy. There are some smooth vocals on this track, which is pretty okay. But overall, it's just a pretty typical track, and the album ends off with Nothing Less, which is actually produced by DJ Premier. Yeah, but instead, there really isn't anything all that mind-blowing about the beat. It's a brighter and simpler beat in comparison with the rest of the record, and it's a bit of a more toned down ending for the album, thus it's a little bit underwhelming in my opinion. But still, overall, I think this album is incredibly solid. I think as far as hip-hop goes in 2020, there are so many terrible rap albums this year. I don't know why. But as far as rap albums go, this is one of the better ones, definitely. I won't say that there are tracks on this album that, blows my mind or, breaks the ground or something. It's very much your meat and potatoes East Coast hip-hop with nice beats, nice flows, nice instrumentals, and I guess I have that to appreciate. My favorite track on the album is probably Front Lines. That's the track that gave me the best impression, and my least favorite is probably the intro, either the intro track or it's Nothing Less. So I'm giving Conway the Machines From King to a God a strong 7 to a light 8 out of 10. Yes. So, have you listened to the latest Conway the Machine album? From 1 to 10, much you rate it, like and subscribe if you want more. Thanks for watching. I don't know why I'm really tired. I'm just really, really tired today. And for my next few albums that I'm going to be reviewing, it will be The Flaming Lips, American Head, Sev de Liza's Chabrang, Sprains as Last Through Collision, Clou Belgag, Notre Dame des Sept Douleux, and the latest surprise Fleet Foxes album, Sure. So, yeah, Sure. You have that to look forward to.